Hey guys, it's me, it's Queen Said Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, pass it on to somebody else who might like it too, and drop us a positive comment in the comment section. Also, stick around to the end of the video because if I remember, I'm going to read out 2 comments from previous videos that I really enjoyed, okay? Also, underneath this video is everything you need to get in touch with me. So if you would like to have a reading done, please email me and I'll give you an appointment. And if you want to find me on social media, that information is underneath this video as well as my merch and a whole bunch of other stuff. So check out underneath this video. So let's see, today we're going to talk about, this woman has an Aquarius boyfriend. Okay, so let me tell you about this scenario. This young lady contacted me and says that she has an Aquarius boyfriend. Her and the Aquarius have been together for 4.5 years. Okay. They live together. They have a lease together on an apartment. They're talking about getting married, getting property, moving forward, you know, that kind of thing. She's a Cancer actually, and she's really nice. And she said that, her boyfriend said, you know, they're talking about going on the next level, you know, going from being boyfriend, girlfriend to having, you know, kids, getting married first. They want to get married first and have some children. So during the course of this conversation, because they've been talking about this back and forth for a couple of months now, he told her that he thinks that before they get married, they should live out their fantasies. Okay. So I'm like, okay, you know, when she said it, I was like, okay, where's this going? So he said he thinks they should live out their fantasies, and he has some very specific fantasies, people. Let me tell you. Number 1, he wants to have a polyamorous type of tryst. So like a threesome or another couple and they swap, that kind of thing. So he wants to try something like that. There are clubs for that in some places where they could find a couple that they like or whatever the case. He didn't give any details, but he wants to try some type of group sex kind of thing. That was the first one. He also said that he would like to try some bondage, so handcuffs, ropes, things like that. He said he wants to tie her up and maybe she do the same thing to him. He wasn't really sure. And he wanted to get some toys from the local shop and play with some erotic toys. He talked about whipped creams and some chocolate sauce stuff he saw too. So he told her all of this over the course of these conversations. And she said that she told him that she would think about it, basically. But the truth is that she's disgusted. That's the truth. She didn't tell him that. But she's disgusted. She's disgusted by the idea. She's disgusted. She doesn't want to do any of this stuff. She says she could see herself possibly trying out the creams and jellies and toys, but she really does not want to do sex with another person or people. She doesn't want to do, what else was it? Bondage. She's not feeling that. She said that she's been in a romantic, intimate situation with a woman before, and it really just wasn't her thing, and she doesn't want to do it again, you know? The bondage thing sounds creepy to her. She was like, that is a level of trust that I don't think I'll ever get to, you know. So she doesn't really want to do these things. She's disgusted by them. And she's afraid if she tells him, ooh, you're gross, that he's going to get mad and either cheat and do these things because he wants to have these fantasies, you know, lived out. Or he's going to get angry with her or they're going to fight or something like that. So she said to me, what do I think she should do about it? I've talked about a little bit of this on this channel before, so I'm just going to remind you guys. Never do anything sexually that makes you feel uncomfortable. Period. If your lover is asking you to do anything, I don't care what it is, if they're asking you to do anything that makes you feel uncomfortable, do not do it. It is a violation to yourself. Now, if it's something that you don't mind or you're not too sure about, y'all can talk about it and maybe explore it. But if it's something that brings you discomfort, if you're disgusted by the idea, is what she said, then that's something you absolutely should not do. up front. Now, the other piece of this, she said, what should she do? Her plan is just to ignore him. Basically, she was thinking, I'm just going to ignore him. Maybe I'll come home with some toys or some jellies and appease him in that way. So live out parts of his fantasy, but not the parts she doesn't like. And I'm like, okay, I could see you going along with the parts that you're down with. But I told her I would talk to him about it. I wouldn't just ignore what he said and do the parts that I wanted to do and ignore the rest. Because he know you heard him. Okay? Now, he's an Aquarius, so he may or may not say something about it, because, you know, the communication thing. He may or may not say something about it, but I would say something about it. I would tell him how I felt. And this is one of those things about being in a relationship with somebody. Remember, they always say how important communication is. You have to be honest with your partner. And if you cannot be honest with your partner, if your partner is not going to take your honesty or respect your honesty, get angry or punish you for your honesty, that should not be your partner. There is never a circumstance when you should not be able to come to your partner. This is your partner. Just the word partner in itself, this is somebody that you should be able to tell your deepest, darkest secrets to without worrying about them slapping you back in the face. If you can't trust this person like that, then this is not a person that you should be with. And I tell people this all the time. Sometimes you have to really think about who you're with. She's afraid that if she tells him, he's going to get angry or he's going to go off and do this anyway. And my thing is that if he's going to do that, he's going to do that anyway. Not with, you don't have to, with or without you telling him. Because if you ignore it and just do the one or two things that you want to do, he's going to know that you're ignoring the others. And he's either going to bring it up again, or he's going to realize that you're ignoring them. And if you think he's going to go do them without you, he's going to go do that anyway. So if you can't trust him, you can't trust him, period. If you can't trust him to take your truth, then you can't trust him at all. And that's not the person that you should be with. So me personally, I will tell him the truth. Whenever possible, tell your partner the truth. I know so many people that are keeping secrets from their partner, and some of them, they just don't care. Some of them are just like, whatever. And some people, it does eat them alive. I've told you guys, I've heard secrets, like the one girl was telling me that the baby she had wasn't her husband's. He thinks it is, but it's not. So things like that. And that's something that really does bother her, because she's like, what if he finds out? What if my son finds out? So that's something that really does emotionally bother her. Not so much that she told him the truth, but me and her have talked about it several times because it does bother her. So whenever you can be honest up front. So this is something that you don't want to do. You ain't got to tell him I'm disgusted and repulsed by it. You don't have to go into that harsh language, but you can tell him, you know, this is something I'm really not interested in. I don't want to do this. And if this is something that you need to do to be in a relationship, we need to make some decisions. Like, do we need to not be together? Do we need to take a break and let you, handle your business? Like, what do we need to do? If it's that important to him to fulfill these fantasies, and it's that important to you not to be a part of them, maybe that's a conversation you need to have so that he's not cheating. Because if you are on a break, that's technically not cheating. But you live together. You've moved in together at this point. So do you want to have an open relationship? There are a lot of questions that make this need more communication. But if it was me, I absolutely would not just ignore it, because it's not going to go away. He is still aware that you had this conversation. So that's what I would do. I would tell him the truth, and I would talk to him about it, and together we would make a final decision. Okay, we're going to do X. Okay, we're not going to do X. We would do it together. Okay? All right, so comment time. Ron Clark. Ron Clark is my godfather. That's my daddy. Daddy said, a great video. If you wrong me and I'm no longer in contact with you, you best believe I'm protecting you. Enough said. Very Aquarius. Daddy's an Aquarius. Very Aquarius thing to say. And basically the bottom line is that sometimes Aquarius distance themselves from you so they won't cuss you out. They won't harm you. They won't hurt your feelings, whatever the case is. And this is something that I agree to. A lot of people that I don't talk to is because I know if they keep if they keep poking the bear, I just might snap. All right. Anton Davis. Anton said, "You right. As a Leo, we are so fixed and determined. It's this car I seen when I was 13 years old. And still to this day, I want that car. I know for a fact that I will get that car. I will work my tail off for it." So this Leo is telling us that Leos become very determined and very fixed. And I believe that because Leo is a lion. And that lion energy is a very assertive energy. So I definitely believe that. Fire, Leo is a lion and Leo is a fire energy. So I feel you on that. All right, guys, it's time for me to get going. So please come back soon because I got a lot more to say. See you later.